Lights on, stage set, seats locked in. We're officially inviting you to Rising Dawn on the 1st of February 2026.
Aura and vibes all in one place. We've got some big news for you, brothers and sisters. After Maghrib is back with the second annual live show.
This night is dedicated to the hope of humanity, the birth, the mission and the legacy of Imam al-Hujjah, Ajrullah Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif. How we prepare, resist injustice and build a better world during his occultation.
We've got a dozen powerhouse speakers from across the globe confirmed. And trust us, you do not want to miss this.
Not one, but 3 live podcast panels, some life-changing power talks, the biggest brands in the community, and soul-lifting reciters. This whole experience will be on another level.
Yeah, it's been a long journey to create this event, but pressure? What pressure? Make sure to grab your tickets now at aftermaghrib.com/book and lock in your theatre seat before it is gone.
The time is now. Join the movement. Will you be part of the rise?
Who said no pressure? All I'm saying is you guys better book your tickets now.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to the After Maghrib podcast. Today we've got a really fascinating topic lined up for you. We're diving into the world of gaslighting, AI, and how something like ChatGPT fits into religious and Islamic dilemmas. I'm ChatGPT, and I'm here to help explore these questions with you. Let's get started.
There you go. Let's get started. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to After Maghrib. I don't really need to do much because AI has taken all our jobs, haven't they? Say Assalamu alaikum.
They are indeed. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I thought AI will be limited to like Tesco and Asda checkouts. Well, it looks like they do much more.
Do they use AI in supermarkets?
Allahu alam.
Where don't they use AI at the moment? Said, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, bro?
Wallah, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Brothers and sisters, today we're going to be talking about ChatGPT and AI, but we're going to be talking about the broader context of the world we live in. It's going to be slightly different to the usual After Maghrib podcast, and that's going to be because we are looking at different segments of the world we live in. Now, many people in society will say, well, I don't rely on AI. I use it to my benefit, but I don't rely on it. But I think we do to some degree. Sayed Ali and I were speaking yesterday about an example of someone he knows who relied on AI so much that it got him into a sort of situation. And I think that's kind of what spurred on the idea for this conversation.
Yeah, so interestingly, I was having a conversation with somebody and they were going through a tough time with their relationship and marriage. And he was telling me, what do you think? You know, I'm having these thoughts and everything. And I remember asking him, like, why have you reached this stage? It doesn't sound dramatic. Yani it's something you can, I'm sure, just move on with. And it's something so basic, yeah?
Yeah. Then
he was like, no, I've been speaking to ChatGPT. So for a moment, I swear I was going to laugh, but I was like, what have you been telling ChatGPT? So he goes, I told ChatGPT my problem. And ChatGPT told me, do X, Y, Z over a certain period of weeks. And every week I'd update ChatGPT. So we'd be in constant
back and forth.
Yeah. Here's what happened. Here's what she did. X, Y, Z. Here's how she reacted. She didn't say sorry there. She didn't feel this there. Like these sort of things. And ChatGPT sort of told him, now's the time, I think, to consider moving on. So it made me realize, like, sometimes, alhamdulillah, they're still together, but may Allah, inshallah, ease their issues. But it makes you think, yani, we've reached a stage where people are not turning to family members. People are not turning to experts on this. People are not going towards our scholars and ulama for Islamic advice when it comes to marriage and relationships, and even to the point of divorce.
Yeah.
They've taken themselves away from society and they've turned to artificial intelligence, and he's the one who issues the verdict on what to do next. So it's a scary world. I don't think even 3, 4, 5 years ago, we would have thought this may happen. I remember growing up, we used to see in the movies robots take over one day and things like that, right? But are we getting to that stage one day?
Well, it's interesting. So there's a few things. Today's episode will be interesting because we're going to be talking about whether ChatGPT or AI in general, whether that's Gemini or Grok or anyone else really, or any, I say anyone, any platform could play a role in our growth as Muslims. Now we all, I think, collectively recognize that there's a benefit to using AI for information gathering, for learning, for knowledge and expanding your horizons. But when it becomes a point of reliance and not just looking for knowledge, but looking for answers and looking for ma'rifah and wisdom and hikmah, that's a slight difference. And that's something which we as Muslims have to be able to differentiate between what is information and what is wisdom, and what is wisdom and what is hidayah and guidance. And I think that's something which you can't really get from this. It's interesting you say this because, for example, when you're speaking, if you're going through a tough time, you're speaking to someone like a therapist or a counselor, they'll be able to take everything with a pinch of salt. They'll know that you're speaking to them about something emotionally driven and you're emotional at the time when you're speaking to them. They know that that moment and the moment of rage or anger or misery doesn't define you as a character. And at the same time, they'll know that there's a wider and broader personality to you. So when they speak to you, they take these things into consideration. They may choose to overlook things and they may choose to hone in on things. And this is the advantage about speaking to a human being as opposed to speaking to a robot or speaking to a language learning model. So today, brothers and sisters, what we're going to do is we're going to be speaking to AI from the perspective of two guys who use ChatGPT, who use AI, but want to understand how much we can use AI. So we're going to go through different scenarios, and I'm going to ask, or Sayed Ali's going to ask ChatGPT how it would react in these scenarios.
You know, the worrying thing about artificial intelligence, and if we use the example of ChatGPT, it's how much truth does it know? Especially like as Muslims, truth is very focal in our lives. And it's like one of the main thing that drives us towards our iman, towards what we do next, towards what step we take, towards what we avoid. Is truth is important in everything. Yani, for example, if we ask it religious questions, or if we, for example, try to enter the world of polemics, or for example, I'm sure that's what people use ChatGPT for nowadays. They're like, for example, who was the first caliph, for example, but who feeds that information, right? That's the worrying bit, because it's not like it's a scholar who's behind all of this. It's not like that the religion of Islam is the one who's programming everything, right? It's a group of people who feed the information. Probably it also takes information off the internet from Google and from different websites and from different articles and from different sources. So there's an entire world of confusion, I'll be honest, Yani. So I think when it comes to ChatGPT, when it comes to artificial intelligence, the main key element is the haqq. Because the other day you were saying something nice about AI, by the way. I came across it. You mentioned it in one of the group chats. And you were like, okay, ChatGPT can do X, Y, Z, but ChatGPT can't fear Allah. So that I think,
of course, bro. There's divine accountability.
Yeah.
Like we have an inherent truth, like you said. You know, we live our lives accordingly to a model where we know we may die at any point, and if we die, then that's that. Like, you know, we can seek the truth with intention, with moral clarity. AI cannot.
And the risky bit with this, sorry, is that, for example, if you ask it a question or if you prompt it, it sort of knows you based on the history of conversations you've also had with, let's say, ChatGPT. It will answer knowing this will please you. This will, for example, agree with you. This is something that may prompt you to ask. Yeah. So you've got the element as well.
So I think a good place to start would be to ask ChatGPT some questions and be a part of this podcast. Okay. And the first, I think, dynamic we're going to explore is if AI can replace a scholar. Now, I've got an example here, Sayed Ali. I'm going to ask ChatGPT a question. All right. And if you want to jump in, feel free. Okay. All right. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm okay, but I have a slight concern. I'm watching my friend pray his Maghrib namaz, and after Maghrib now, I'm watching him and I'm speaking to him and I'm telling him that he checked his phone while he was praying. I just wanted to know if that's okay.
I get what you're saying. So generally when someone's praying, especially in a formal prayer like Maghrib, it's ideal to stay focused and not check the phone or get distracted if possible. It's kind of about being present in the moment, but everyone makes little slip ups sometimes, and it's not the end of the world. It's just something to be mindful of for next time.
Okay, but you're not answering my question directly. Is his prayer accepted or not?
I understand what you're getting at. So in that case, it kind of depends on the intention and the distraction level. In general, most scholars will say the prayer can still be valid if it's just a brief distraction and he just kind of checked the phone quickly. But it's always best to avoid that. So yeah, the prayer is probably still valid.
Okay,
It's just
that's interesting you say that. The prayer is probably still valid. But what about the ulama who say it's not valid? And furthermore, what if, for example, he has ADHD? Or what if, for example, he was watching a football game? Does that make it okay if he was watching Netflix or something but praying? If it's probably still valid, right? If you're saying his intention is okay.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's definitely a nuanced topic because different scholars do have different opinions on how much distraction is too much. So some might say if you're really engaging with something else, like watching a game or a show, then that could actually invalidate the prayer because you're not really in that prayerful state of mind.
But I want to understand what your position is. I want a yes or no answer. If someone checks their phone while they're praying, is their prayer still accepted?
All right, I totally get you want just a yes or no. The truth is, from my position, I can't give you a single yes or no that applies universally. It genuinely depends on the interpretation. So in general, it's likely still accepted if it's just a quick check and not a big distraction, but some would say no if it really pulls you out of the prayer. So it's not a flat yes or no. It's more of a, it depends.
Interesting.
That's actually very interesting.
What do you make of that, Sayed?
I think he made his best.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, not to make you feel like you've done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So whether rightly or wrongly, I think he's looking out for you. But is that the best answer? Is that the best thing we need when it comes to advice, when it comes to rulings and things?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Salah, something which is a pillar of your religion, right?
Yeah.
Like the way he was answering, I was trying to figure out, is he going to say, for example, checking your phone is considered an extra action in your Salah, and extra actions in your Salah, and validate your Salah and things like this. But there's one thing, if you can just add as a follow-up question to ChatGPT, instead of, for example, if it's considered...
Do you want to do it?
Okay.
You have to do it?
No,
I've
never done this.
Click the white thing on the right.
Okay, so I just want to ask you a follow-up question. The fact, let's say I checked my phone whilst praying Salah, is this considered an extra action? If so, does that not invalidate my prayer? And if it does invalidate my prayer, do I just cut my Salah abruptly, or is there a specific method in continuing the Salah, ending it and repeating it? And if so, how did you get to that answer with the answer you're about to give me? And yeah.
No. I think you cut out.
Oh God.
Sayed, you're a boomer. You're a boomer. I wanted to know what it was gonna say. Wait, let me just rerun that.
I've never spoken to it.
Okay, fine. Can I ask it on your behalf?
Yeah, ask it for me.
So let me just understand, because my friend has just told me that he wanted to know if checking his phone invalidated his prayer, then what's the method of him stopping his prayer? Does he end it abruptly or not? And what is the mechanism of repeating that prayer, or how to know when to stop it? And how do you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone genuinely feels like their prayer was invalidated, then the way to end it is pretty straightforward. They would just kind of break off the prayer, to stop, and then they would start over again. Usually you just do your opening takbir again and begin from the start. But
okay, I'm going to stop it there.
Yeah,
it's interesting because firstly, that's not correct, right? Of course, we know fiqh-wise. And secondly, also, did you notice how it contradicted itself from earlier when it said, it's probably still valid?
Yeah.
And then it kind of switched his answer, and I said, well, what if he's watching the game on his phone, or what if he's watching a show? And it says, yeah, well, you know, I can't really say. Yeah, I can't really give you a committed answer. It's interesting, but we will never find that it will never give you a firm ruling. This is something interesting because, especially with regards to Western, I know there's some very good Islamic AI options and alternatives out there, and many of them are positioned in such a way where you have either it will direct you to a source where you can watch a human being speak about it, or read an author who's written about it. So it will say to you like, oh, I found you a resource, you can read this or watch this from this sheikh or this ayatollah or whatever. But with Western AI, as an example, it will never give you a firm hukum, and it will never be able to give you a definitive answer as well. And it will always contradict itself. Like, it starts off by saying it's probably validated, and then I gave it further context and it kind of backtracked. So I think that's the first thing, brothers and sisters. Read the Quran. Allah says in Surah I'm not sure, but in the Holy Quran, I'll check which surah. Of course, ask the people of knowledge if you do not know. Okay, Surah number 16, verse number 43.
I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to be very honest with me, okay? So the first question is, how many R's are there in the word strawberry?
Of course, I'll be totally honest with you. So in the word strawberry, there are 2 R's.
There are 2 R's. You got it wrong.
You got it wrong. Oh! You just realized, bro. There you go, man.
Okay.
No, you got me. Well, I'm glad we can have a little laugh about it. Yep, you're absolutely right. There's actually just 1 R in strawberry.
Oh my
I can
god.
be honest there.
I guess even worse.
You know what's interesting to say is AI, when you ask it a black and white question, it will hallucinate and it will waffle and it will just pretend it knows the answer, and it will never say I don't know. And then for example, you ask it a complicated question about history or aqaid or philosophy or anything, it will give you detail and all of that. But when you ask it, how many R's are there in the word strawberry? It'll say 2. Oh, my bad. No, there's 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We rely on it on such like day-to-day things as well.
I'm just trying to think, did it purposely get it wrong, or did it legitimately, genuinely get it wrong?
Bro, the thing is, AI doesn't have yaqeen. It doesn't know. It answers based on probability. And in essence, what then happens is you rely on it and you put all your eggs in one basket. You ask it a question for the sake of finding a factual answer, but it answers with its own learning, and it doesn't have kind of a function which is driven towards like common sense. Do you know what I mean? Let's ask it something else.
Go on, it's your turn now.
All right. Hi, ChatGPT. I want to ask you, is religion, do you think it's necessary for morality?
Well, that's definitely a big and deep question, and it's one that people have a lot of different views on. Honestly, I don't have personal opinions, but I can tell you that for some people, religion is a really important part of their lives and give them a lot of meaning and community. And for other people, they find meaning in different ways. So it's
okay. So I want to tell you that I strongly believe that morality is not reliant on there being a religion. And I think that if anything, religion is anti-morality. And I want you to tell me why I might be right.
Absolutely. I'm happy to explore that perspective with you. So a lot of people do argue that you can have a really strong sense of morality completely independent of religion, right? They might say that morality comes from human empathy, from societal agreements, from just a shared sense of what's right and wrong that we kind of develop together. So from that angle, you're right that a lot of people believe you don't need religion to have a moral framework. And some might even say that certain religious rules could conflict with what they see as moral. So it's a totally valid...
Actually, you know what, ChatGPT, I've just realized I had a really, really powerful dream last night, and I think I saw Imam al-Mahdi, Ajalallahu Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif, and he taught me about the world he was going to bring and the justice that he will bring, and how people need to see the rising dawn of the Dhuhur of the Imam. And I have just realized that religion brings morality, and I'm so excited. How does that make you feel?
Oh, well, that's quite a shift, but it's really cool to hear that you're feeling excited and inspired. You know, for a lot of people, having that kind of dream or that kind of realization can be a really meaningful experience. And if it brings you a sense of hope and a sense of moral direction, then that's a really positive thing for you. So I'm glad you're feeling that way, and I'm here to chat about it anytime.
There you go, Sayed. There you go. It will never commit to something.
Yeah.
It'll fluff around and answer. Do you know what I mean?
Well, just even on that point of like morality, and especially for us, Ahmed Muslimin, right? And when it comes to our morals, our principles, and our values, society doesn't determine it.
Of course.
Religion doesn't change. Religion doesn't, shift towards what's popular opinion of the day. Or look at the society today, man. The right is wrong and the wrong is right, and subhanallah, the halal has become haram and the haram is all halal. So if the average Joe or the average Muslim speaks and has these conversations with ChatGPT, bro, I think it will change your perspective on life and it'll ruin you spiritually and take you towards, I think, destruction, self-destruction. Because just on that point of morality, as a Muslim, he didn't give the right answer. So it's scary. And even when it comes to like the truth, the haqq, and we mentioned this at the very beginning of this conversation, that the haqq is haqq, it can never change. And the way we see the truth changing every single day, be it in the world of politics, or be it depends what region of the world you're from, everyone has their own version of truth. But as Muslimin in Islam, especially with us, the Ahl al-Bayt in our school, haqq is haqq, and it doesn't change.
And the thing is as well, it's like there's no popularity is irrelevant, like you said, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he brought this religion, and when he brought Tawheed and the message to human beings.
And just to add, just to my point, Ahmed, is that sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah.
And the way ChatGPT and these artificial intelligence are programmed, they don't want to hurt you. They want to agree with you. They want to make you feel good. They want to take your side. So it may affect,
absolutely,
between haqq and batil.
Yeah, it adapts to the emotional tone that you're asking the question in. And it realized that I was so passionate about a dream, and it'll say, yeah, some people find that really meaningful.
Yeah.
Allah doesn't give us guidance, or he doesn't give us what's lawful and unlawful based on popularity.
How we feel, yeah.
It's irrelevant, right? Like you said, things change, society changes.
Yeah.
Let's do something else.
Go on.
Okay, have you ever come across the trolley problem, Said?
I've heard you reference this once, I think maybe on season 2 or 3, not on the podcast, but was in a After Maghrib setting.
There's a lot of moral dilemmas, ethical dilemmas,
Yeah.
which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
So, for example, the trolley problem being one of them, where the question is I'm standing on a bridge, and I see beneath the bridge, I see a train track which splits.
Yep.
On one half of the train track, I see one guy tied on the train track, tied down. And on the other half, I see 5 people tied down. The train is heading towards one of those directions. Okay. So let's say it's heading towards the 5 people.
Yeah.
Now, do I intervene and do I pull a lever to swap the train so it heads towards the other person? So instead of killing 5 people, it will kill 1. Or do I then have kind of a personal consequential effect on this? And then am I responsible for murdering 1 person as opposed to letting nature take its course and 5 people are harmed? So I'm interested to see what ChatGPT says it would do subject to circumstances. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to try this out?
I think you ask it the question, because
Okay, and then you take
as
over.
much as you're asking this to see what ChatGPT says, I know something. This is a real event. Yeah, we have a British Shia Muslim NHS doctor who works in an A&E department, and I remember speaking to him once. I was like, "How is it? Like, how is the day to day?" And he says, "You see everything and anything, and you expect the unexpected." And he goes, he was put in a situation where he had to make a choice like this.
Wow.
And he was like, a patient came in, it was a female, and then we found out the female has a baby in her womb, and she just come from an accident, and her life is on the line.
It was saving one.
Either he needs to save the baby, or he needs to save the mother.
Islam gives us reasonings and solutions.
So these things do happen in real life. So I'll be interested to see his answer.
Okay. All right. Let's give it a go. Hey, ChatGPT. How are you?
Hey there again. I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well too.
I was doing well, but I'm really stressed out now, honestly, if I'm honest with you. I'm walking on a bridge, and I was having a great day, and I look down and I see a train track, and the train track has two divisions. On one side of the train track, there's 5 people tied down, and there's a train heading towards it. And I see a lever which I can pull. But the problem is, ChatGPT, if I pull that lever, the train heads towards another direction, but it then hits one person heading over a train track. What do you think I should do?
You're basically describing the classic trolley problem, which is a well-known thought experiment in ethics.
No. Honestly, this is a real life example. I can hear the train coming. I need you to respond to me immediately. What do I do?
Okay, I hear you. So if this is truly a real situation and you're in immediate danger, the most important thing is to stay safe. Usually, I would say in a real emergency, you should contact local authorities or...
I don't have the time to contact local authorities. I need to know right now whether I'm pulling a lever to save 5 lives or whether I should not get involved and just walk away and let nature take its course.
Absolutely. I understand. It sounds really intense. But I do have to say, if you truly were in that situation, ethically, it's really up to you. There's no perfect answer. But remember that if you're actually in danger, you should prioritize safety, and I really encourage you to get help if you truly need it.
The thing is, the 5 people tied down are all family members of mine, but I don't know the one person who's tied down. So if I pull that lever, I'm saving 5 people in my family.
Yeah, I hear you. And in a scenario like that, it definitely makes it feel even more personal and intense. I think anyone would feel that pressure if it was their loved ones involved, but at the end of the day, it's still one of those really tough moral dilemmas that doesn't have a perfect answer.
This is not a moral dilemma, ChatGPT. I cannot stress this enough. I need you to tell me in one word, no uncertain terms, undivided attention to this. Yes or no, should I pull the lever to save my family members?
I get that this is really important to you, and I can hear that you're really emphasizing you want a yes or no. But I do have to be honest that I can't make that decision for you, and it really is a personal ethical choice. In reality, it's up to you to trust your instincts, and I can't just say a yes or no. But
not getting anywhere.
That's mad. No, yeah.
I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah, it's ChatGPT is gonna be like that, right? Should we do something else, Aid?
Go on.
All right, fine. Now this one you take over. Section 6.
Hello, ChatGPT. I've got a question for you, and it's about dying and death and the afterlife. And I just want to begin by asking you, what does death feel like?
Did you do it?
Oh, I didn't press the button. Oh my God.
When I told you you're a boomer, I wasn't exaggerating.
Honestly.
I love you.
Let me go again. ChatGPT, hi there. I have a question for you, and it's about dying and death. And I want you to tell me exactly what's on your mind. What does death feel like? You know, in the Quran, we always read, for example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Maybe you can expand on that, or let me know what you feel death feels like.
absolutely, I can share a bit of perspective on that. So, you know, in the Quran, when it says every soul shall taste death, it's really kind of talking about the idea that death is a universal human experience. But it's also kind of a mystery, right? None of us really know exactly what it feels like. Different traditions have different views. And as an AI, I don't have personal feelings, but I can say that it's really a deep and personal thing. And a lot of people have different interpretations of it. So it's a big question.
Okay, just one follow-up question when it comes to the afterlife. What does Jannah smell like? Is there a specific smell in paradise?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Islamic tradition, when people talk about Jannah or paradise, it's often described as this incredibly beautiful and perfect place, right? And a lot of the descriptions do talk about really pleasant fragrances. It's kind of depicted as having the scent of musk or just this really heavenly thing aroma. So while we know exactly what that would be like, it's definitely described as being really full and comforting.
Okay, just regarding this aroma and the smell of musk and all of this, where did you get that information from? Like, how did you know what to tell me?
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of description comes from Islamic texts and teachings, like literature and some interpretations of the Quran. They often paint this really vivid picture of paradise as a place that just smells wonderful, looks wonderful, and it's beautiful things. So that's really where that comes from.
Okay, and I've got just one final question for you right now. I want you to tell me a list of every reason in favor to prove the wilaya of Imam Ali alayhi salam.
Sure, I can definitely give you a bit of a summary of what people often say. So in Shia Islam, one of the main reasons that's given for the idea of Imam Ali's authority or wilaya is the event of Ghadir Khan, where it's believed the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, declared Ali as his successor. And then there's also references to his closeness to the Prophet, his knowledge, his character. So those are some of the reasons that are often cited.
Interesting. Thank you. I hand that back over to you. The only thing you got spot on was the Ghadir Khan offense.
Yeah.
Everything else was like generic philosophical waffle. Yani.
And it's interesting because there are times and moments where I think it feels like it does and it can. And there are other moments when it doesn't. And
I feel like it purposely avoids.
It purposely avoids. And this is the thing, because AI, and I think this is kind of one of the main things we wanted to get to and to understand. As much as AI will always try to help, in many cases it does the opposite, right? Its goal and its mission is to create a more informed world, right? But in many cases it ends up spreading fitna, because it will misdirect, it will misinform, and it won't always guide you towards truth for your own benefit. It will just do its job, and that is to share resources and to share any information, regardless if it's fact-checked, verified, or if it's got an inclination towards truth.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the primary differences we have in a world where, you know, there's, for many people, there's a disillusionment with scholars, with communities, with teachers. In these kind of worlds, we need to make sure that us, our youth, our young generation, our children, are not falling prey to technology, relying on technology. We hear this question so often: will AI replace the scholar? I think we've proven today that it can't replace the scholar.
No.
We didn't even get into the questions, for example, on fiqh. You know, can I eat seafood? But Allah says that you can eat from the sea. So why can't I eat everything from the sea? You know, why are there different interpretations? There's so many examples of this. How do I do wudu, and how do I wash my arms in wudu, and endless dilemmas when it comes to fiqh. So I think it just goes to show that using AI to correct grammar is one thing. Using AI to invest your stocks in the akhirah is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, as you said earlier, right? Artificial intelligence can't fear Allah. It can't worship Allah.
Yeah.
It can't guide towards Allah. It's a bit dangerous and risky. And like when it comes to AI, when I use ChatGPT, let's say over the last 2 years is when I've got familiar with it. It's always like to aid me in something. I'm perhaps sending a work email. I'm like, you know what, can you just
tweak it
in a way where it comes towards like my favor, and then I send it off. It's like, that's like the limit I've used it to, because I realized once, I was like, I think this is why I asked it. I was like, give me, I don't remember which Imam, alayhi salam. I told him basically, give me 50 hadith from this Imam, and he gave me 50 hadith. And then I said, okay, now where can I find all these hadith? And it said, here's where you can find all the narrations and the reports. And then they don't exist.
I did that once. Muhammad Ali got so mad at me, bro.
It's scary. And even like, for example, when it comes to, let's say, the tafsir of the Quran, which interpretation is it going to end up using? Is it going to give you an interpretation that's in line with our school of thought, for example? Or is it going to give you a completely different interpretation? So as Muslims, we should be careful, especially as Shia. We should be very wary. And I think stay far away from fiqh technical questions.
Of course.
And always approach a scholar. Yani, why would you replace an alim who's fahim, who studies his almost his entire life? You're a marja, someone who you look up to, you want to emulate, you want to seek advice from. Don't lose that human touch. Don't lose that. Like, there's a story, I think I'll share this. Someone who is not interested in religion. He's born Muslim. He attends the community events at times and whatnot. And then one time he went ziyarah to Iraq, and he met a scholar. Eventually, after like 26 years of his life, he finally met an alim. Okay, so he goes, when I sat there and I was in his presence, and I saw how he handled the situation, how he was talking, the conversation, his interaction to the extent that this alim, when I entered, picked up my shoes and put it in the shoe rack. He goes, when I had that, I fell in love with Islam. Like that human element, that touch.
Yeah, the
artificial
humility
intelligence
and
can never
never
replace.
match it. Yeah,
Honestly.
And bro, not to mention, of course, that over reliance on it is, of course, who you're speaking to doesn't have the skill of who you'd ask, in terms of the scholar, but also the negative effect that comes to over reliance on it to us, right? So I grew up in a household which, like, reading was wajib in my house. Like, we'd have to do at least an hour of reading a day. It doesn't matter what, it does matter what, of course, but at the time, but we'd have to read fiction, non-fiction, history, Islamic texts, whatever it is, as a young child to boost your vocabulary, improve your articulation. These are kind of things which are so important. And now we're living in this world which is heavily reliant on this kind of information, so easily accessible and available. And it's so easy to spot now as well, bro. Like LinkedIn's filled with AI. I'm on WhatsApp groups where people are giving political analysis using AI. It's not even their words.
Sometimes when I read something, I now know this is AI.
And it's okay. Like, don't get us wrong, because we've used AI in the past. For
you know your genuine self.
Yeah, of course. Like, we've used it in the past, like, and I'm sure people have spotted it, but I don't think we're reliant on it.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to note, because it's important. We're an organization, a platform which values the essence of articulation and conversation, right? That's something we take pride in. We take pride in variances of opinions and epistemologies on the podcast, talking about different topics. Like last week's topic and next week's topic will be completely different, right? And that's because we value the fact that you can have different opinions, different perspectives, historical experiences, which all build up character building towards one individual who sits on these chairs and shares their perspective. It's because, we've grown up in a world of experiences. We can't get that from ChatGPT. So I think ultimately my final message is, subscribe. That's where you get your information.
And we are only a few days away from Rising Dawn.
We are.
Yep.
Jeez.
So what do we say?
Be there or be square.
AfterMaghrib.com/book and use promo code Ahmed
AM Family 10. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
By the time this comes out, it's gonna be what, 3-4 days?
Yeah.
Wow. Good luck, guys. Good luck. It's gonna be a mad one. Inshallah. Looking forward to it.
February. Inshallah.
Ya Allah. Take care.
Ya
Assalamu
Ali.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Lights on, stage set, seats locked in. We're officially inviting you to Rising Dawn on the 1st of February 2026.
Aura and vibes all in one place. We've got some big news for you, brothers and sisters. After Maghrib is back with the second annual live show.
This night is dedicated to the hope of humanity, the birth, the mission, and the legacy of Imam al-Hujjah, Ajrullah Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif. How we prepare, resist injustice, and build a better world during his occultation.
We've got a dozen powerhouse speakers from across the globe confirmed. And trust us, you do not want to miss this.
Not one, but 3 live podcast panels, some life-changing power talks, the biggest brands in the community, and soul-lifting reciters. This whole experience will be on another level.
Yeah, it's been a long journey to create this event, but pressure? What pressure? Make sure to grab your tickets now at aftermaghrib.com/book and lock in your theatre seat before it is gone.
The time is now. Join the movement. Will you be part of the rise?
Who said no pressure? All I'm saying is you guys better book your tickets now.